Hi, Dr. Shelah Harris here, and today we're going to be talking about how to forgive myself when I've done something terrible to others and I feel a sense of guilt, sadness, regret, shame, and helpless. I don't understand. I'm beating myself all the time. That's what we're going to talk about today. Stay tuned. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and this is your first time coming to this channel, please help me out so that most of my resources will go out there to people who need it. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and give this video a thumbs up if you really like it. Thank you so much. And of course, if you have any other topic on the subject of forgiveness that you would like me to cover, please do not hesitate to send me a message, and I would love to hear it and definitely will make sure you get that video. How do I forgive myself? I feel terrible that I did certain things. Is this true? Is this really true that you really did something bad to another? This was the question I was asked to ask myself. And I thought for a minute, why should I ask myself that question? Well, my spiritual teacher told me this. Think about it. If you really know what the purpose of life is, you will never hold yourself in unforgiveness. To which I then turned around and said, what do you mean? And he said, well, think about it. The purpose of life is for you to discover who you are in your soul being, and for you to get to a point where you make a change in your life to come closer to who you truly are, which is love. So if you are that, and the purpose is for you to become more loved, then you're going to have to uncover things in you that are not so loving so that you can correct them and become more loving. This applies to everyone, and therefore everyone is going to do things to others that are not so pleasant. That's the way nature has built the system, because each and every one of us are connected, but we are here to uncover the purpose of life, which is to bring us back into our corrected state, which is loving others unconditionally. The moment I got it, I remembered how I beat myself when I got divorced. And for me, it was always in my head, I have given my children a negative start in life. I have failed them because I didn't want them to have any of the blemishes or the stigma that comes with parents being divorced. That was the tape that went on in my own head. And that tape run so many times and made me feel so guilty, run so many times and made me feel so bad that sometimes I was left in anger towards my ex-husband, because I now had to blame him for putting me through the experiences that I had that resulted in the divorce. So then this tape will now have to latch on at him for my thoughts that believe that he put me through this. And by the time I knew it, I latched on my parent, because I then remembered, oh my goodness me, it was not just my husband. My parent also put me through it because they could not sort their own problems, and I didn't get the kind of background that I needed so that I will know what love is all about. Now, you see how the mind works? I soon began to recognize this, that there isn't anything wrong with anyone, regardless of where they were born, who they were born through. What will be devastating is not to make the correction that one has been given to make in their lifetime. And that was, for me, the U-turn. I suddenly realized that there was no need for me to even say something like my children have been given a bad start in life, because by doing so, I negated all the good that they also have, because there have been so many good things that they've been given as well, but I'm painting the world in my mind as though I've done some terrible thing, ignoring all the loving things that are also imparted in their lives. This is the way nature builds us. We've got two forces operating in us. So the negative we're close to and tend to gravitate to. Hence the reason why we tend to talk about the things that we didn't do right, the things that we regret, the things that we could have done differently. And I was in that position as well until I had my wake-up call to look at everything and find the opposite of them and look at them concurrently. Then I suddenly realized that whereas I've been painting a very big paint what I did wrong, I neglected all the things I did, which are loving things that have really given them the seed of life that will be asset for them going forward. The moment I took that paintbrush and I started painting it in the wall of my art, I started painting it in the wall of my heart, I saw that no, it's not true, that no matter what my weakness has been, it's been given to me for my correction. And that's what I want to leave with you in this video. Now, holding yourself in blame or guilt for what you have done very often means you are painting the dark picture of what you have not done or what you did that you regret. But what about the other picture of the things that you did that you are proud of, that you know are assets? Have you painted those pictures? Because when you start painting them, you will see that the picture is so big on that side, but your mind latched on to one of the negative things or few of the negative things, and since then you negated all the loving things that you have done. It was this that really made me realize that if we do not understand how the mind works, we will be a victim to our mind. If we do not understand that the purpose of life really is to learn how to do life correctly, that all those things that you didn't do right, you can go back and put them right. You don't have to go back. You simply need to learn from them, and going forward, you don't even try and appease the individual. Just do more good to others. That's all you need to do. Just do more good to others. It's a mistake to try and say, oh, because my children, I gave them a home which is different from one that I had as a child when I was growing up. I suddenly realized that, a minute, when I was doing the other painting, I recognized, excuse me, I didn't grow up with my mom and dad, but they were in a home with their mom and dad for at least 15, 16 years. So how can I possibly say all was blue? They went on holiday. You see, when I started painting the new picture, they went on holiday with their parent. They went on many holidays with their parent. And then I began to say to myself, wait a minute, why did I latch on one? Many times when we hold ourselves in regret, it is because we've painted the dark picture and we made it so big, and we have compressed the good pictures and made it so small that we cannot see it anymore. Well, I want to challenge you to get out of it. Take yourself back into a quiet zone. Go look at all the good things that you've done. Blow it up in your mind, and you will see there is no need for you to lament about what you did wrong or what you didn't do that you should have done, because those things that you didn't do right are the areas of things that you will need to work on to get right with other people, not with the same people. And please do not make the mistake to say that because you made a mistake, let's say in my case with my children, that I should now try to indulge them. No, like I said, I painted that new picture and then I saw all the other things that I did right and move on. Let it go, because it's a mind game. The mind has a habit of holding on to negativity. It's you that have to put the positivity in it so that you can move on. And that's the way it is. If my parent and their parent and the other parent are all going to hold their own parent, who is responsible for this situation? Do you see where I'm going with this? It will be a long lineage for us to get to the top. And then eventually we'll have to conclude, well, it seemed like God was responsible for all of this. Your responsibility, my responsibility, is to correct our attitude towards others. And when I learned this, I recognize what my teacher was saying. Only think about what you can do now to bring more positive into this world and let all those mistakes go. Blow up all the other things that you did good so that you will bring this back into balance and move forward. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please once again subscribe. Love you, and I will definitely like to hear from you how you're getting on with the resources that I'm putting out there through my channel.